Welcome back. My name is Kit.
My name's Madison.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, streaming The Boys for the last time for a little while.
Wow, it's already over.
It's the end.
That's madness.
Episode 8, Assassination Run, is what we have just witnessed. And I gotta say,
Dude, say it.
what a fucking good episode.
Yeah.
For me, I'm back.
You're back in?
I knew, I've said throughout the season, I have faith where they're going. I'm just not having a good time on the ride. It's like a family vacation. This sucks. I want to get to SeaWorld or wherever we're going.
Maybe not SeaWorld.
I've never been on a family
Maybe
vacation,
not
I'll be honest.
SeaWorld.
This metaphor's falling apart.
Disney.
Oh, yeah, that's one that's safe.
Better than SeaWorld.
At least they're mistreating the humans there.
Yeah.
Which are
Not
us.
the animals.
I was laughing. I was wondering what was going to happen next. I was then finding out and being surprised. I cried. I was moved.
You came?
No, I saw and I conquered. I'll tell you that.
Good.
So I know I'm spoiling my overall thoughts, but
No, that's okay.
I've been excited.
You can jump the gun. It's okay.
I just watched it a couple hours ago and I haven't talked to you guys yet. Did you guys both watch it today as well?
No, I watched it last night.
Oh, you prepped.
I watched it like 5 days ago.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Do you remember what happened?
Dang.
I do.
Yeah, I'm in. I can't wait for it. Now I'm sad because who knows when we're going to get season 5.
But we are going to get it.
Are we?
Yeah.
Or will the country fall apart
Well,
before we get it?
well, thankfully we have Homelander's deputized in the White House, so he'll make sure it happens.
Yeah, we were talking about this off air. It's kind of with what everything going
I think
on.
it's pretty good PR of the boys, actually.
I mean, it's one of them. It's one of them things, man. If I was
Yeah.
an exec right now, I'd be like, ooh.
Do we pull this episode?
It's
Yeah.
pretty on. I mean, everything's on the nose, but now
Sure.
it's like
But now
extra.
it's like, oh.
Yeah, you can see it when you look down. You know, it's so on the
Right.
nose.
Yeah.
It's obscuring vision.
The title of the episode.
A little bit, yeah.
It sounds like a mobile game version.
Oh, no.
Just queue up Assassination Run.
They were just too good.
While I'm in the lobby.
They predicted it.
Yeah, they said Simpsons, move out of the way. But yeah, I had faith and my faith was rewarded. Kripke, I'm sorry I doubted you, even though I didn't. But yeah, this was a huge upturn for me. It's just like the whole season, just like a flat line to a mountain. If it was what are those called?
Peaks and valleys?
EKG?
EKG. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would be
Sure.
like a huge spike of life. Boop. Oh my God, he's back.
He's back.
Yeah.
Give me the paddles.
They were already noting time of death on season 4 and then boom.
You're that person
Brought back.
in every movie where everyone thinks you're dead because you drowned, but then like 5 minutes later,
Cough up
that.
water.
Yeah. Yep.
But we're going to get into it. If you've stuck with us through this entire journey, thank you and welcome. I imagine maybe we'll get a little Gen V season 2 coverage prior to The Boys season 5. I imagine that's how it's going to work out. I imagine that'll come out first, which I'm fascinated. I know you guys haven't even watched Gen V yet, right?
I've only seen a little bit.
It's going to be, I wonder how they're going to do that as a tangential story, but also like this is a major world change that they would have to like note.
Or it would have to take place before this season.
Because, I mean, this episode integrates a lot of Gen V characters at the end. No?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In a big way. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. You can email the show at streamingthingspod@gmail.com and go to patreon.com/streamingthings to get ad-free versions of these episodes.
Yeah.
Extra bonus content, movies, whole TV shows like Game of Thrones that we're covering on Patreon only, early access to merch. Our live show tickets that's happening in October are still on sale. So
There, get them while they're hot.
get them while they're hot. Come to Cincinnati, see us in the flesh. Maybe dressed up. I don't know. We haven't gotten our outfits planned yet. What are you wearing?
Definitely a thong.
I thought you were going to do translucent cosplay.
Oh, well, now I'm going to change it.
Officer, you don't understand.
You don't understand. I'm
This
in
is a
costume.
convention.
You shouldn't be able to see me.
He must be a soup too.
That's how Steve got tased.
Little Steve. Little Steve
no.
got
Steve.
tased.
You got little Steve?
Little Steve.
Oh, man.
That's Stu. So let's get right into it. Our overall thoughts on episode 8, followed by our The Deep Dive. And then we'll wrap it all up with our diabolical moments, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode.
Fucking diabolical.
Maybe dive into the Vought, see what kind of Easter eggs or tidbits behind the scene moments we can pull out, if any. And then finally, our compound VIPs, our favorite performance of the episode. All the actors have notified us they're waiting with bated breath to find if they finally get a streamy.
They're all lined up out there. The winner gets to come in here and talk. Accept their award.
It might be Kamiko, and that's not going to be great for audio format. But actually, now it would be.
It would be now, yeah.
Madison, what were your overall thoughts on the finale of season 4 of The Boys?
I was, similar to your reaction, I thought this was a very great episode. And my initial feelings after the episode ended was like, fuck yes. Like, oh my gosh, this was so good. I felt like I was locked in the whole episode, locked in. And I thought everyone's performance was great. I thought how they just wrapped up the story was really, really well done. But then as I sat on it a little bit today, it kind of it made me reflect on the season. I just was like, why did it have to take this last episode for this to happen? Like, it kind of made me annoyed with the rest of the season that I wasn't in love with it as much as I was the finale. It almost kind of seems like, okay, was the rest of it just filler? Like they just needed something to get to this episode? I don't know. So I'm a little kind of taken aback by that, and I'm still kind of sitting with it to see. Maybe I just need to rewatch the season knowing what I know. But overall, this episode was fucking awesome. Like, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Hell yeah. Steve, what'd you feel like 5 days ago?
Yeah, no, this is legit the best episode of the season by far. Like, hands down, it's not even close. It has the humor. It has the stakes. The boys are actually doing something. They're doing a lot of, there is that real world on the nose metaphor happening, but for some reason it felt like they weren't hammering it and just trying to smack you over the face with stuff constantly. It was just okay, there's a January 6th thing similar, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then also I really enjoyed there's a particular actor in this episode that is just having so much fun. It's the most fun that they've had all season. And I was just all about it. And to your point, Madison, there are parts that are in this episode we should have had this element more. Mm-hmm. We should have had the shapeshifter earlier. We should all this stuff should have happened way sooner. And I just feel like the middle of the season was just kind of just a malaise of poor situations and poor writing and stuff. And now we finally get to this section. I said last episode that I felt like this season was feeling like a transitional episode, and I still feel that way because now they're transitioning to what season 5 will be, and I feel like season 5 is going to be awesome and amazing and have a great start. Mm-hmm. It's just a bummer that the rest of the season took so long to get there. But yeah, this episode in a vacuum is fucking awesome. Great action, great acting, great story. Loved it.
This is one of my favorite episodes of The Boys ever.
Wow.
And that's crazy to say with how down I've been about season 4 in general. Mm-hmm. So wow, what a way to come back. And yeah, you're right. Season 5, I think, is going to have this insane dystopian balls to the wall. So much to talk about. Let's get right into it. It's time for the deep dive. It starts out, it's January 6th, but like Steve said, we moved straight past that. The movie Training A Train has been canceled, even though it's finished. They're going to use it as a tax write-off.
I love that little dig at Max. That.
At least two movies that Warner Brothers has used as a tax write-off, but also because A Train has been outed as the leak, so they're not going to use him in any of their projects moving forward. Then they throw in a quick hashtag All Lives Matter joke.
I take responsibility for racism.
The Electoral College verification process is in full swing. It's typically a formality, but in this time it's quite serious, right? In the same way that in the 2020s, we don't want to harp on that too much, but it was a whole thing. And then Frenchie is hard at work on extracting the virus from Kamiko's severed leg. And she's just playing with that little bumblebee toy that she was holding when he cut it off still. I think she wants to keep it forever. It's a bumblebee, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
It's got really prominent antenna that I don't personally associate with bees.
I like your antenna, Madison.
I was just imitating Chris.
Yeah. Those on the YouTube, they're like, oh, I see where she's going. Those are antenna. She text Huey. Who's texting Huey? Is it
Mother's Milk?
Mother's Milk is texting Huey about locating the ID of the shifter. And he's hard at work at that, but he's not having any luck. Starlight comes out of the back room wearing like a ball
dress.
gown. Yeah.
I'm here to go to prom.
It's some kind of gown. And he thinks that's very strange. He's like, he thinks it's more sex stuff. So he's like, look, I appreciate it, but the world's ending.
Right.
Have you seen the news?
Literally.
They're about to hang Mike Pence over this, all right?
And she says,
They're storming the Capitol, Starlight.
yeah, things are happening, but I'm okay. But then she proposes to him. And remember, this is not actually Annie. This is the shifter.
What?
Just to remind everybody at home.
But the shifter didn't have that prom dress.
That's true.
That's Annie's prom dress.
It is, but she wouldn't wear it right now.
That's
and he
true.
can tell. He's starting to put the pieces together. We find out later.
But she tells the story about how like her great grandfather proposed and
Right before he shipped off to like World War II, right?
yeah, and he
Yeah.
put on his like Sunday best, and I guess that's her Sunday best.
Yeah.
A Cinderella dress.
Could have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually love this scene. The way that the sound design and the music, as soon as he goes to the back room to get his like family's ring, I'm supposing, the music, like it's like a record scratch kind of effect when she shifts from her facade as Annie into the shifter, and then like the music kicks back up as he comes back in. I just thought it was brilliantly done, and Erin Moriarty is having such a blast.
She killed it.
I've seen her on her game in this episode like I've never seen her before.
Yeah,
is that who you were talking about?
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
I was like, holy shit!
There's a scene later on where it's the two Annies talking to each other,
yeah.
and it's just mesmerizing. Yeah.
I love it.
And then they have proposal sex once.
But it's so cute because Huey, his mom had given Huey her ring that his dad proposed to her, and he was like, lock Annie down, whatever. And
right. It's like, oh, this is my moment.
So yeah, she proposes to him. He goes in and gets the ring, and it was just like so sweet. But then you realize you're like, no,
It's not sweet.
no,
It's assault, brother.
2 fingers was a lot.
2 fingers wasn't.
Yeah, I thought you were into it,
I was trying to level up.
And then she has a finger wound. Had her skin pulled off in his ass, I'm guessing. I don't know.
I think it was just the ring was cutting
Oh.
her finger. Yeah.
Sorry,
But I like how
went
it's
there.
referred.
I assume her fingers get ripped off in his asshole.
No, he just has really sharp butthole or something.
It's a sharp
It's
butthole.
It's really tight.
Really
and it just
tight.
puckered up when she went in there.
He wasn't relaxed.
Yeah.
Especially with 2.
Yeah, that's fair. He's fair.
Yeah.
There was a really funny, someone posted in the Discord this theory that someone posted. And the theory was that the shapeshifter is actually Huey's mom. And obviously, like, I don't think that's true based off this episode.
Wrong show.
But the hilariousness, the reason why that theory made me laugh is the person that posted it prefaced it with, obviously almost everyone's already figured this out, but the shifter is Huey's mom. I'm like, have we?
Oh, so they were like low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit. Like, we all know this is happening.
Wow.
I just love the fucking confidence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the
Just say
brazen.
that.
They must have just finished watching House of the Dragon and were like, oh, I see where this is going.
Oh, yeah.
I've normalized this too
But
much.
I mean, I could see that being like a fun plot point. Like, I hope for the reason that they did have intercourse, I hope that it wasn't his mom and that it was just shape-shifting as his mom, maybe in the hospital.
Well, I think that's what they're implying.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that it was the shapeshifter was shapeshifting his mom in the hospital. Isn't actually his mother.
Right.
In a way,
Good.
I kind of like that theory better because then it ties
more
in
sense.
the Huey and his mom storyline in the season a little bit better.
Yeah.
yeah, otherwise, because it's pretty random.
Yeah, because it does.
It's kind of done.
When this episode ended, I was like, oh yeah, we haven't seen Huey's mom in like 2 episodes. What the fuck was that story about?
He's
Yeah.
like, look, I'm not mad at you anymore, but we're not going to hang out. I don't know you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Thanks
what I assume happened.
Thanks for the
Anyway,
ring,
but
though.
that I didn't know that was a common thought.
I
in
don't
the Discord.
think. I don't think
it was. It was
I
just
don't
that
think
guy.
it was. Was that person
it's
was
just
like
that person?
clearly we're all thinking
Obviously.
it.
Yeah, we're all thinking
We're
it.
all thinking it.
I just want it on record. I did call it before it happens. And so the shifter notices the finger wound, like her identity as Starlight is deteriorating. So she needs to go charge up. So she tells Huey, I'm going to go get some champagne. We need to properly celebrate.
Not that Kirkland shit.
Grabs her keys on the first try. He frowns and she leaves, right? We cut to Butcher in the hospital, he's watching the Electoral College vote being counted, and his blood pressure is low. It's only 90 over 60. He's about to die in the next couple of days. He's like, oh, oi, Homelander. What a cunt. That's what he's thinking.
On his deathbed.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oi.
Oi.
His last words.
I love
Stupid cunt.
Stupid cunt. I love JDM is still lurking around in there, Kessler.
Yeah.
And I love the way they edit this, where they see him talking to him. They cut to the wide. JDM's still talking, but you can see it's like a wide shot of the hospital room, but he's not in there.
And it's the line delivery that Butcher says to JDM, but it is picked up by Grace when she walks in.
Yeah.
So
he
it
says
was-
something like, just let me die or something.
Something like that,
she's
yeah.
like, I've been hoping. But then even JDM has like a really great delivery. It was like, super cancer. And he gets
Yeah.
all like hand wavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically he's telling him, hey, I can help you through this situation, but you got to hold up your end of the bargain. What's a little genocide between friends?
Great line.
And that's when Mallory shows up right as he's talking about his own death. And she's
Did I
like,
say Grace? Is
her
that
name
right?
is Grace.
Okay.
Grace Mallory.
Grace Mallory.
Okay.
But she's not fond of Butcher, so he usually calls her Mallory. And then he lights a cigarette right in the hospital. Can't do that. And says, get us me phone, which I wish I could say that. And
Got work to do.
people not look at me weird. Like if I could be like, Madison, get us me phone. And she wouldn't. She'd be like, what?
No.
But,
You can start saying that to me. I'll know what you mean.
oi, Steve,
You cunt.
get us me phone. Homelander is getting into his pube stash at his house.
He's filled that jar up plenty.
Yes.
He's got to be like just bare down there, like not a
basically
tree
got a
left
Brazilian.
standing. Yeah.
One at a time. That's got to be way worse than just doing it properly.
Ugh.
We saw his little Nazi stormfront photo too in there. And then he's putting Ryan's stuff away. He's got his homework and stuff all over the table. And he finds the photo of Butcher, Becca, and Terror and gets extremely upset. He laser eyes his whole apartment. You can't really turn laser eyes into a verb, but I tried. And Ryan walks in at the last second to a very infuriated Homelander. And he's just saying, come here now, Ryan. But Ryan's a stubborn teenager. He's like, no,
I don't want to.
My note is Ryan does not come here. He does the opposite. he goes there. That's the opposite of come here. Yeah.
I like this scene because we've all had that experience, I think, where a parent's mad
and
at
Carol?
Like, Carol's like, get over here
She
right
finds
now.
your picture of Carl Urban and a dog.
Yeah.
She's like, Steve,
And Ghost
this is
Ship?
weird.
He is not your mother.
Why do you have a picture of the guy from Ghost Ship?
You know where that movie's banned here. Also, I hate dogs. No, she doesn't. But we've all been there where your parents like, get over here right now. You're in trouble.
And you're like, no, I'm not going to go over there. I'm in trouble. That sounds like a terrible idea.
No.
Why would I do that?
You're going to hit me.
What's in it for me? Let's talk this out. This is a negotiation.
You broke my Legos. I'm never going there again.
Oh, God.
That really happened. Poor Steve.
Summer Carol's at her house and she just got really sad and didn't know why.
Her biggest mistake.
But I will say Ryan just kind of walks out, right? Like I was kind of shocked that there wasn't more like violence that occurred. Because I feel like Homelander could have like really just grabbed him and been like, yo.
I'm surprised he didn't send him to his room or ground him or take away his Xbox.
Maybe he doesn't know how to do that.
I'm not sure he could hurt Ryan. That's the whole point of
I guess that's true.
Mallory and them want to train him.
But also I think it speaks to Ryan as literally the only human being on the planet that Homelander would even consider not doing that to him.
Sure.
Because he honestly, as awful as a person that Homelander is, he seems to genuinely care about Ryan in his own sick, twisted, fucked up way.
In a selfish way, like in the way that like he's just a little Homelander to him. So he wants to protect the boy that he was because he wasn't protected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Annie is still locked in the basement when the shifter shows up to recharge. She just needs to touch her again to like fix her Annie skin, right? And we also find out that she can read minds when she does this because it's so much in this episode is shown instead of told for once, and it's so refreshing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill your mother. I don't want to go to Sedona, which is a weird line because Sedona's awesome. Is there like a bad connotation to Sedona that I don't know about?
Where is Sedona?
Is it? I'm neutral.
It's in Arizona. It's a small town of like 11,000 people, but it's beautiful. It's for hiking, and
Sure.
it's where we went for my bachelor party.
Maybe the shifter's just like a city person. It's like, ew, I don't want to go.
I don't know.
Gross.
I'm not a world traveler, so I don't know. Maybe there's like only a schmucks go to Sedona kind of thing that I don't know about. Like especially out west, like everybody in LA is like Sedona. I live in LA.
Allah.
It's so hot there, but not the good Paris Hilton hot.
Not the hot.
Yeah.
I just Googled, is Sedona lame?
What'd you come up with?
Nothing worthwhile.
Yeah.
Just someone saying Sedona is 1,000% worth visiting.
See?
Yeah.
You get a Jeep tour, a pink Jeep tour. That's fun.
The dream.
That's the dream. But anyway.
I love this scene between
So good.
Shifter Annie and real Annie. Like just the way, like she's having such a ball being a
meal.
A sociopath specifically.
Not a psychopath.
A sociopath. And just like the way that she kind of tells the Shifter's sort of origins about shifting into Mrs. Jameson.
Her preschool teacher, yeah.
Teacher, and learning how everyone's a terrible person and everyone justifies their own story. Like that's a fascinating character. And I'm really bummed that we only really got like an episode with this character because you could have had so many cool revelations about other people that they transform into. Like I just liked this idea of a character holding a mirror up to everyone else, and the way that that the acting goes back and forth. It's just I was just transfixed the entire time.
Well,
for sure.
And not to be like literal, but the way that they film it is they have kind of like the over the shoulder of the two Annies talking to each other, and when it's over the shoulder on the shapeshifter, you see her in the mirror talking to real Annie. And I whenever there are scenes like this where when you have an actress playing or an actor playing the same character, but there's two of them, not the same character, but when they're playing two different people and they have to be like smash cut together, it's just, I really enjoy the creativity with how they get to film those scenes. And I thought this was a really good.
Adding the reflection it really makes that a little better than the average scene like this.
Yes. I thought it was really, really good.
Did you watch that Prime Video show with Rachel Weisz last year? It was a Brian De Palma movie remake or a Cronenberg movie remake. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
She plays twin sisters, and it's. I think you'd like it for that reason. But yeah, this is a great scene, and we learned so much about the Shifter that made sense. Like, how could I not be a sociopath? I barely remember what I look like because we talked about that last week. Like, what's that like? Like, they can't ever go back to their normal form. It looks like. And ever since she was a kid, or we don't know what original sex she was, but ever since they were a kid, they like 6 years old. They just randomly became this adult preschool teacher and learned all this fucked up shit, had all their fucked up memories. Of course, they'd be twisted and weird, right? So I don't know. It was so well done.
I'm Annie January, and I'm the only good one.
I'm Annie January, and it's not my fault. Sing it with me. And so her whole plan is to kill the president as Annie, and she'd be in prison for the rest of her life. And Annie's like, oh, don't, please don't. I'm the only good one. It's a great scene. It's incredible. We cut back to Butcher, who takes a call from Huey, and he's basically given up on not only the mission, but his whole life, right? He tells him what's supposed to be this heartfelt story about him and Lenny, but it's basically about getting titty steaks. There's this place in Nevada. Oi, ewy.
The birds come out and show them the bags out when they bring you a ribeye. Then he thought it was fucking hilarious.
Promise me you'll go there.
Huey, promise me.
And tell the boys I'm sorry, right? We cut to an episode of Truth Bomb with Firecracker. And this time it's with Homelander and Vice President-elect Victoria Newman. I love this bit where she's getting increasingly more and more sick, Firecracker, from the breast milk medicine. And Homelander, and she's only doing this extreme self-sacrifice to ingratiate herself to him. And because it's making her sick, he's disgusted by her. And it starts off with this little like, ugh, when she coughs during a truth bomb. I just thought it was hilarious. I'm distracted because I thought I called like a major twist at this moment. I was like, oh my God, they put the virus in Firecracker somehow. And she's going to give it to Homelander through the breast milk. And I thought that was the twist. I was like, they're going to fucking kill Homelander? That's an amazingly ballsy move.
Everyone saw this coming. Obviously, people have already figured this out.
Huey's mom is in the breast milk. Everybody knows it. But no, that wasn't what happened. It's just the medicine making her sick.
Huey's mom is in the breast milk.
But yeah, Homelander is close to losing it, and they think they're following the plan to the T, and then he outs her as a soup. I did not see that coming.
Nope.
It shocked me. I was shooketh.
Oh yeah, that scene where he just like zaps her real quick, like
With the laser eye,
and
yeah.
then just the way she's like, what?
Did you just laser eye me? Dude.
And then Firecracker just like doesn't even miss a beat. Like, that's right, folks. She's the dagger in the deep state that'll sodomize our government.
Yep. The first super abled president is what they think they're announcing happily. The world is...
And you're a woman.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're a gal. I love how he says it so condescendingly. Like,
and you're a gal.
And you're a gal. It's a great thing. And then he tells Ashley to list everyone in the company that has leverage on them so that they can kill them.
Oh, before he does that, Newman like says like, you're going to have to kill all these people that have all this shit. And he's like, I know.
I knew that.
Of course I
knew
thought
that. I've already got to plant Ashley.
List everyone out. And her and other Ashley are very concerned.
That doesn't sound good, Ashley.
Shut up, Ashley. And then we get to the Singer-Newman vote is being ratified. The Electoral College has been counted, but now Singer knows that she's a soup. He wants to have the election start over. Everyone is freaking out countrywide about Victoria being a soup. There's riots across the country. The virus is still not ready. Frenchie's working hard on it, but it's not ready. And Huey is supposed to be getting the dirt out of the safe because that's their plan B, is to just expose Newman. But no, there's no dirt in there because
it's not there.
What's the word? Shifter stole it in the last episode. And then Annie returns at that moment. I love this bit. Erin Moriarty is having such a blast. There's this funny bit where as soon as Huey finds out that it's gone, she's over his shoulder going, yeah. Like, it's so funny. But yeah, this is where MM gives his speech. All we got now is defense. We tried offense. Everybody meet up at the shop, right?
Let's do it.
Singer is publicly shocked and pissed about Newman being a soup. And he says, it's over my dead body. Will she ever be vice president? In fact, that's because she will have had me assassinated, if that is the case, which is, in fact, her plan. Ryan shows up at the hospital room where Butcher is sick. And that's where Butcher tells him that he's got to go with Mallory back to the care of the CIA. And there's this touching moment where he really puts all of the autonomy in Ryan's lap at that moment. It's like, look, if you do feel safest with Homelander, I ain't going to stop you. Mm-hmm. Oi, Homelander's a cunt.
But if you feel safe with that cunt, we could just play Connect 4.
I ain't going to let you win.
I won't. There's one cute line because it's easy to forget that Mallory sort of like took care of Ryan for an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's like really, really happy to see him. And it's really sweet. Like, are you at least eating some vegetables in there, kiddo? And he's
some
like,
lettuce on my burger.
There's lettuce on the burger. You little stinker.
My ketchup's made of tomatoes.
And sugar.
And I don't know what else. Because kids don't know what's in ketchup.
I don't know what's in ketchup.
No.
You ever get like homemade ketchup at like a hipster restaurant? It's awful.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But like, I made this myself. I'm like, fuck.
So I can
Just
tell.
take it back. I can tell.
Sugar-free ketchup?
I don't even know what it is. It's just something about it I don't like. Then we get, what else do we get?
The deep remembering Ambrosius.
Yeah, and they're trying to make that, like, I don't care. Just stop trying to make that a thing.
The only assassination they've done is the character of Ambrosius in the season, because I was so all on board Ambrosius. But I was on board. I was here for it.
I wish he was never there.
Season 4, The Boys was doing for bestiality what Game of Thrones did for incest. All right, I was all for it, and then it ended the way it ended. I'm just like, I don't even understand what the Deep's doing.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Him
like, I feel
currently.
like Ambrosius was kind of this anchor side character for the Deep to like. I don't necessarily know if redemption is the right word, but something to fight for, quote unquote.
It was supposed to be like this symbol of him fully going evil. When it's like he sexually assaulted somebody in the pilot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we were never like.
And he's cheating on that symbol of his good nature the entire season too.
Yeah.
Like, even if it was like, oh, this is my good half.
Oh, you were fully Ambrosius pilled because you're viewing that as infidelity and everything.
Yeah. Like, how could you do that to that queen?
And he was cheating on the octopus the whole time.
The whole time.
Can't believe
Didn't you share with me some people on Reddit were like saying that, Ambrosius is going to come back and kill him or something like that.
Yeah, there was a. I can't remember what that one was.
You need to stay off Reddit. These takes you're getting.
No, I love. So again, we got screeners, so I would watch the show and then go on Reddit to see what people were hypothesizing for the next episode, and it was always a great laugh because the season was kind of not great. So a lot of the times it was really funny. Like a couple episodes ago, people were like, "Oh man, I'm so excited for the scene where they break Frenchie out of prison. That's gonna be such a dope scene."
Yeah, that
And
actually was sad.
I was just laughing like, "Oh man, you guys are gonna be pissed."
Because that would have been cool.
It would have been.
That heist
And that would have been
great.
a great The Boys episode.
Yeah, doing the boys stuff.
But
That
no,
made
it's
me
just
sad.
I got him in a prison off camera.
Here he is.
Here he is.
There he is. I'm in charge of the boys again.
Yeah.
But
Actually, sorry, we were talking about theories for the show, and I posted on Discord like, "Hey, what are you guys' final episode theories for the boys?" And I think East Gramo was saying like, "I bet you that MM is gonna get out of breath and then give the boys over to Butcher, and then Butcher's gonna get out of breath and give the boys back to MM, and then MM's gonna go out of breath and give." I was like, "That's really funny."
Just hot
Yeah.
potato the leadership.
Yeah.
And then they're both passed out for the entire finale.
Right.
But Ashley has the kill list ready to go. And Firecracker has got some milkies for Homelander. And she keeps coughing and he's disgusted. And he tells her to move down a few seats.
But real quick, he can taste
Cilantro.
Cilantro. That's nasty.
It's spiced up.
Ew.
Yeah, she's been eating good for him.
Good thing he has that gene.
I think it's cute.
Yeah, he can taste. It doesn't taste like soap.
He's like, soap? Soap? Oh, cilantro.
And
And
then
then they don't give Ashley enough time to like run out of the room.
I got it.
I got it. Don't worry.
They almost get squid. It's like an Indiana Jones movie all of a sudden. But they're sitting there plotting their coup with all the soups. They're going to have legions of soups line up around the White House. She won't stop coughing. So, he says, go further down, all that shit. Then they give,
Causing heart palpitations.
I don't care. It's disgusting.
Ewy.
You're coughing on me.
Gross.
And then he gives the Deep the kill list. And the Deep's like, what about Ashley? Shouldn't we kill her? And he's like, yeah, sure. And she's listening outside like, fuck.
Does anyone know Ashley's last name?
Yeah, nobody
I
does.
love how just like his handwriting looks like a child, like because he writes Ashley really big at the top.
I also was shocked that I've been spelling it wrong.
Well,
or maybe he got.
I was gonna say I feel like he just spelled it incorrectly. I don't think.
Some people do go for the EE,
I mean,
though.
you're right. You're right. I guess there's multiple ways now that you can spell that name.
I think Jessica Simpson's sister spells it with 2 E's, as I recall.
I think that is true. Just how there's multiple ways to spell Madison, which I think is very interesting.
Really? Some people go with 2 D's
2 D's
for a double
Y.
dose
A
of this
Y.
pimpin'? A Y?
an E.
That would be like a Targaryen way to spell Madison.
Be.
Sometimes it's-
Maedy.
I've seen MAD. I think MADESYN. Madison.
That's crazy.
That's so weird.
Write in at streamingthingspod@gmail.com how you would spell Madison,
Please do.
and we'll talk about it next week
Yeah,
without her. And just rank them.
behind her
judge.
back.
Yeah, just judge the spelling.
So Ashley panics, goes to Homelander's apartment, and steals some Compound V really quick, shoots it up, and oh my God, something crazy's happening.
I loved that scene.
My notes are literally, oh God. Like, I'm
Yeah.
so hyped to see what happened.
And then she turns into the Blue Hulk.
There's another one? So many flavors of Hulk.
So many.
Hulk is love. Hulk is life.
Fairy Blast Hulk.
Baja Blast Hulk.
Oh man, my favorite Hulk.
But then they're
Only at Taco Bell do you find that Hulk.
on certain times of the year. They're in the vault with the president. It's the boys and the president. He's upset. He says something like, if you had killed the VP like I told you to, this wouldn't be an issue. And Kimiko is specifically supposed to protect him.
I love the joke where he just sucks at golf, and every time he misses a putt, he's like, balls.
That's what I do. My dad used to say that as a curse word all the time.
Balls.
Balls. So I didn't even clock that. It was so normal to me. And then Annie says to Huey, it's like a furnace in here. And he remembers the moment when they met the shifter where she had said that in the closet. And that's when he realizes, oh, fuck.
We got a dope ass dolly zoom. When he
Jaws
realizes
style,
it,
yeah.
Like, ooh, I love a dolly zoom.
Jaws style.
Jaws.
I say Jaws funny, and I'm Jaws.
Somehow you're getting worse and further away from the accurate
I just
word.
don't get it, man. What am I doing wrong?
What are you trying to say?
Jaws.
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 Apparently I put some L's in there. I don't know.
Jaws.
Jaws. Balls.
Balls.
Jaws.
Jaws.
Annie.
What are we doing?
Balls. Jaws.
Annie goes to get some water, and then the real Annie is trying to pull her hands through the shackles. Ew.
Owie.
It's Gerald's Game style. You guys ever seen that?
I hated that.
Oh, that's called degloving. There's a
Ew,
word.
really?
There's a word for that. Yeah.
Why did
Like
they give
ripping
it?
your hands out of chains.
When you rip the skin off your hands like that, degloving. It's like a horror movie term, I think, but it might be a real thing. I don't know.
I was going to say, why does that very specific thing have a cutesy name?
Why couldn't she just dislocate her thumbs? Do that move like a Houdini.
Yeah.
Just it went full.
Or just
full
break the
skin.
fucking chains.
It's like, I can grow
She
back
doesn't have her
skin.
powers or something.
Whatever.
Plot device, Madison.
Yeah. So then Huey, I love this scene. Huey tries to tell MM that she's the shifter.
Don't look at me, look forward.
And it's like this great physical comedy bit. Laz Alonso does such a good job. That moment where Annie comes back and scares both of them. Oh my, I LOL'd. And then she gives the whole peg the patriarchy line, right?
Yeah.
He's, oh yeah, all the holes. Yeah, peg them.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that Huey like squeezes his like water bottle because like he realized, oh shit, like I just got fingered by the shifter.
You think that's what
Among
it
other
was?
things.
For sure.
2 fingers too.
I do love when there's that moment where she's like, why are you guys looking at me? I know why. And she brings
My
out the ring.
ring.
And
Yeah.
the way MM looks at Huey like, oh!
Oh.
And Huey's trying to get Kamiko's attention, but she's not picking up what he's laying
I
down.
love Kamiko. Just like, what?
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 And then all hell breaks loose. She's knocking Secret Service guards around. She breaks that one dude's spine on the table, hangs the other soldier on the coat rack. It's great.
Yeah. That was awesome.
The coat rack was corny.
They all
You
run.
think so?
I
Yeah.
like that one. I hate the only thing that really let me down on this episode was the fight choreography. You know, like the Kamiko shifter fight was
Yeah, it's
nothing.
not the best. Yeah,
It was nothing.
It's just a tussle.
And then Kamiko's just like holding her down, like, go, run past me. And then gets her. I mean, that's fine. I
did think when the shapeshifter breaks Kamiko's neck, that effect of her like looking completely
That was
180
cool.
That was cool.
It never gets old seeing Kamiko die because we know it's not forever. But even like the Annie fight was okay. You know, none of the fighting was very good. But
Deus Ex Annie.
yeah, and then real Annie shows up. I'm like, where the fuck did she come? This is like the secret vault.
How'd you get in here?
What is going
Literally.
on? And how far were you? I was down the street. Luckily, like it's wild, but it's fine. It's a small nit to pick. But yeah, the real Annie saves the day, and I guess kills the shifter. Because it looked like
It appeared so.
choke them out till they pass out kind of thing. But it's like, obviously they couldn't just leave them there.
I do wish they would have not kept in the line of like, I don't know who the fuck I am, but I do know I'm the bitch beating your ass. Like,
It was very Steve Austin.
I was just kind of like, we could have just choked her and it would have been cooler, I think.
Yeah. Or like a choke down and then Annie says like a one-liner, like as she walks away or something like that.
Shapeshift into someone alive. Double pickles.
Starlight, I'm going to do you like I did Vince McMahon.
I'm gonna walk
Shifter.
down that ring, give you a stunner, open up a couple brewskis, stop a mud hole in you and walk you dry.
Yeah. Grab a couple cheeseburgers.
Give me hell yeah. And the singer's like, hell yeah.
He's in the vault. We cut back to Victoria Newman calls Homelander, and Singer is still alive. Victoria is like, we need Sage. And he's like, fuck Sage, we got this. And then he threatens Zoe. He's like, look, you're going to do what the fuck I tell you, or he threatens to put Zoe through all kinds of hell. And this is where Victoria realizes
You're going to be my puppet.
she's partnered up with the wrong one.
Going to be my puppet. We had one made. It was going to be in the Christmas special before Ryan
Yeah,
ruined
what's he
it.
say? I'm going to put my hand up your tight, puckered ass like a puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
More
then
puppets.
Steve's like, I love puppets.
I was
Puppets.
definitely triggered at that.
I don't know how to feel about this.
I leaned in like, huh?
Dark Crystal?
Hello?
And then they get the boys get back and they're all beat to shit. They look like they've been through straight hell. And Frenchie's just been there working on the virus. And he's like, what happened? What happened to you? But
What
then we get
happened?
Kamiko's little happy wave.
But yeah, that wave
That was
slayed.
cute.
So good to see Frenchie.
Slayed.
I didn't get the bit where I guess the joke is that he's like, oh my God, you've been fucking like a ninja monster. Because like or was it that her hands were so he's like treating Starlight's wounds on her hands, and he's like, yeah, you're gonna be good, and stands up and looks at Huey and goes, yikes.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what that was about. Like, I don't envy you the conversation you're about to have. Was that the joke, or was that her hands were so messed up?
It's the I don't envy you, because
okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is gonna suck. And yeah, then Huey has to talk to her about, now, how did you guys read this? Madison, I'm curious about your opinion. Like, did you think, because on the one hand, it's like, obviously Huey thought it was her.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything wrong. But on the other, I could totally see my wife being like, oh, you didn't know it was me. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I think Annie, in my head, I interpret it as, you know, she just got done being in this 10-day isolation and then found out.
She's had a rough time.
Found out that her, you know, well, one, I'm sure she was being mentally manipulated and like just being completely shitted on by this other version of herself.
Yeah, she only had lean lads to eat. And those things are bad for you.
You know, she's also just found out that like, you know, Huey and her got engaged, and Huey shared this very emotional proposal with this person that wasn't her. So, I mean, I'm sure she's just kind of like wrapping her mind around what was going on. That's kind of how I interpreted it.
How many times did you fuck her?
But on
less than 20.
On the surface, though, like, I guess it does seem a little, I don't know. I mean, I feel like she could have taken a step back and been like, you know what? Like, you didn't know. Like, I can't hold that against you. But I'm sure there was a little bit of just like coming to terms with it and anger and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I interpreted it.
Okay. Steve, any thoughts?
I really appreciated this, that they did this in this episode, because I think it's a completely natural thing for Annie to feel that way, especially right off, you know, finding everything out that like that you would be upset. But I do like how like maybe 5 minutes from this, she's like, you were getting tested for every STD. Like she's accepting him back. Like she had, she was able to process it, because it is like, that is such an extraordinary circumstance that both of them went through. So I'm glad that they didn't like, oh, next season they're going to be mad at each other all the time because of this. Like, that's unbelievable. So I'm glad they had the moment. That's realistic. But then they like work through it in a also realistic way.
I also think too, like I don't know if they created that dialogue to prompt Huey to point out all of the niche things that he noticed about her behavior that, you know, he was coming to realize that the shifter did not have. Like, I think he mentioned something about, you know, what she was wearing around the apartment and like how quickly she found her keys and like also like acknowledging
something
the fact
about
that
the sweat, which I didn't understand.
90% pashmina.
What's that mean?
I don't know. I wrote it down to look it up, and then I forgot to look it up.
So I mean, I think in a way it was kind of cute, like for him to be able to acknowledge, like, oh, he does really love this woman. He does acknowledge and knows her like weird nuances that
it was like does. A 90s teen rom-com. You know what I mean? Like
in a way.
Complimentary.
Sure.
Complimentary. In the sense where it's like, I love that you burp and that you don't know where your shoes are and that, you know.
And I love that every time
you voted for Reagan twice. And, you know, or like.
I love that after you eat popcorn, you have the farts or like something like that.
Yeah. This scene hit me really hard because at my first gut, dude reaction was like, he cheated on you with you. You know what I mean? And when she goes on this rant, like, oh, I bet you didn't notice because she just wanted to, he was getting laid twice a day. Those are extreme numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's not chauvinist, is not the right word, but there's this element of like, she was the perfect girl, wanted to wear, you know, ride your dick in the Starlight outfit and blow you all day and never complain and always happy and always bubbly. And because specifically her, she's been going through like this deep identity crisis and depression the entire season. So I imagine they haven't even had sex in a long time leading up to the shifter being in there.
And the whole season, she's been saying how fucked up she is.
Yeah.
And then Huey at one point is like, your fucked upness is what makes you you. And that's him accepting everything about her.
And I started to picture like, you know, if a shifter got my wife and she came in, you know what I mean? Like
in a prom
just wearing a
dress.
Spider-Man mask and naked, you know, I wouldn't be like, who is this woman? I would be like, oh, what's up?
Oh, you ready to thwip?
And like, you want to do the upside down kiss finally?
Yes.
Because I'm such a fucking dork. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, like it kind of broke my heart. Like we suck, you know, or at least I do. I suck.
We
So
suck.
It just hit
Men
me.
suck.
It just hit me. And I totally understood.
You guys took it there. I didn't.
I went through like a whole thing, you know?
That's fair.
I went on a journey.
Yeah.
And it was good. And I'm glad they took me through it. I think it was just an incredible scene. But yeah, she storms off pissed.
Pashmina
I was waiting for it.
Pashmina
is a kind of scarf. Pashmina doesn't absorb sweat like cotton does, but allows it to evaporate so you actually feel cool. Plus, you do not need to wear something that smells later on.
So she doesn't sweat a lot is what he was trying to say.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. You're 90% Pashmina, baby. I like it now. See, that's like a rich people joke. I feel like the writers, they live in LA and they were like, oh, everybody's going to get the Pashmina reference. And they're gonna know how much Sedona sucks.
Okay, so turn us so much, bro.
You go to Palm Springs.
Actually, I have one. I just looked it up.
You have a Pashmina?
I have a pashmina.
Look at you.
They sell them at music festivals, so you can wear them around your neck.
Because they're breathable.
Exactly.
It totally makes sense.
And you can use them as a wrap around your body,
At
around
Coachella.
your head.
Everybody has this at Coachella.
Bonnaroo. Or you can use them to sit on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Multifunctional.
Stan Edgar would.
Yes, he would. That's a
Yes.
callback. This episode of Streaming Things is sponsored by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
You know, Steve, there's something I need to get off my chest.
What's that, fella?
It's been weighing on me. You know that I resigned at the day job recently, right? And I've been a little scared. There's a family to worry about. There's health insurance. There's capitalism.
Sounds like a stressful time.
But we all carry around different stressors, big and small. And it feels better when you bring something to the light and keep them bottled up. It can start to affect us negatively. And therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. In my case, it's all of the stress, the misery, the fear. But I had to come over here and share that with you, and I felt better. You know, that's a real thing that happened.
Yeah.
Unloading all that on you and Erica and feeling better myself.
That's sounds like my Friday night.
Sometimes you just need somebody to listen. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you're not vibing, that's completely fine. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/streamingthings to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/streamingthings.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You've made it to July of 2024, and it's time to give thanks to the Streaming Things super patrons for the month of July. That's right, these people are keeping the lights on every single day, along with all the other patrons that we have, but these guys get a special shout out. And let's begin with Albus Stinkpot, Dylan Dunkley, Maddlestat, Susie Callahan, Anthony Corona, Parmesan, Sunshine, Ashley Hazen, Just Liz Calabria, or the Justice Lizard, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, Emily Scarano, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Jay Scramo, Lothpum, AK Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Wendy O'Laughlin, Big Butthorn, Conrad, Jer Latanowicz, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Elpander, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Peaches, Emmy, Haley B, Joe Velez, Stanton Valentino, John Collins, Trisha Bueller, Sun-Loving Mortal, Suzanne Rode, Jen Robinson, Kalisha Reeves, Paula Garcia, Miranda Bren, Aaron Armstrong, Kevin Strother, Ashley Powers, Stephen the Fifth, Casey McCain, and of course, Enza. Thank you all so much for supporting Streaming Things, and let's get back to that episode.
We cut to Vicky. She calls Huey and tells him, I want out. I want out of the whole assassinate the president thing. I'll do whatever you want to do. Just protect me and Zoe. And they have a quick argument like, hey, the leg thing wasn't me.
Glad you two connected.
And she ends up basically begging him. And I know that they're dating, and maybe I'm just hyper focusing on that now that I know that fact.
The actors.
Yes, the actors. But I do think that the chemistry between
it's
the
always
characters
been there,
is crazy because of that. Or maybe I'm just projecting that now that I know. I don't know. But
no, I think you're 100% right. Because I think I think, and when we did the season 3 recap, I complained that we didn't get to see the relationship between Victoria and Huey build up that happened mostly off screen. So it's good that the actors actually have legitimate chemistry, because it's true when they are on screen, you completely buy that these two people are at least
they care about
each other and they're friendly, even though they're on opposite sides of this conflict.
They started dating because they didn't even have that much screen time together, did they?
No.
They were just like on set at craft services one day, like, what's up?
Well, I mean, when he was helping her with the campaign.
Yeah.
I mean,
but even then they were short scenes, I feel like.
Yeah, but I mean, they hang out all the time.
Yeah,
I follow all of
clearly
them on social media.
Clearly.
Oh,
Clearly.
T?
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 The T is.
Oh, question mark.
Who are they following? Who did they unfollow?
That is the worst level of fandom. I catch bits of it on Twitter. Oh. Did you know Renee Rapp unfollowed Olivia on? No, I didn't know. Why would I know that? Why do you know that?
Like you're just going on. You just have a list of celebrities and typing in their followers if they still follow them.
I have to update my spreadsheet.
That's psycho behavior. But if you do that, that's cool.
Yeah, no judgment except extreme judgment.
Do you? Madison spelled with a Y.
Be normal and watch 9 hours of TV all day, every day, like I do. So we cut to the people at Vought, the employees that were on the list, like running from all of the heroes. Firecracker is so sick she's unable to even run, so she just shoots the dude in the back.
I really like to think that like I didn't look into this at all, but in my head when I saw the scene, I was like, I really hope that those guys that are like running around and the people, I hope they're like real like writers on the show or like producers or something like relative to the show.
Well, the one dude that deep punches is one of the writers in the show universe.
Right. But pitching. I mean, I hope it's like a crew member from the boys.
Oh, gotcha.
An actual writer.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. Obviously, a writer wrote that and was like, I laughed way harder than I should have when the deep was like, you can't pay me off. You're a writer. That was really funny. But
there was one little bit where because he catches the one rioter and he's like, you don't pay to do shit. You're like, I'll do anything. Anything?
There's a moment where he's like,
and then he goes like, call me the smartest super of the 7, say you respect me the most, besides Homelander, of course.
Yeah, even in that moment, that's how much of a bootlicker he is. He's like, yeah, are you just saying this because you're scared?
No.
It's still good enough. Like, it still makes him feel better. And then he punches him through the face. And in the background, Noir kills the wrong Ashley, the subordinate Ashley.
The other Ashley.
Have you seen Ashley? This is Ashley. And he's like stuck her on the wall. Bro.
Murder boner.
I don't know. Everyone here is named Ashley. And then, they look down and the murder boner.
Murder boner.
That was so out of left field. Who gets a murder boner? Huey pitches flipping Newman to the boys. Like, hey, she's going to be on our side now. We can use her in so many different, she's so powerful, be a great ally. And again, like the speech worked. Like, like this kind of unearned moment that just really fucking worked for me. Where he's like, guys, we just do murder all the time. Like, I couldn't even look at blood when I first got here, and I barely blink now.
I liked his line where he said, if we're going to win against monsters, we need to start acting like humans.
Yeah.
And of course,
mercy and forgiveness is brave. Violence isn't brave.
That's right.
He was spitting hot fire with this.
Yeah. And MM says, fuck it.
Fuck it. They all say fuck it.
Let's go out with our heads held high.
Yep. And Frenchie's going to drop her if she blinks.
Oh, sorry. There was a really good callback, too, because, going back to Huey's mercy and forgiveness is brave. Annie's like, no, I don't like this idea. And he goes, hey, you showed mercy and forgiveness to A-Train. Look how that turned out for us. And she's like, God damn it, you're right, I'm in.
And Frenchie and Kimiko are taking all this in for their own issues, but also so is Annie with her anger at Huey for cheating on her on a technicality for sure. And but they decide that they're gonna try it as long as Frenchie has a gun loaded with the virus trained on Victoria just in case. And that wouldn't even help. That's when you make people this powerful. That's like my one overall issue with the boys. It's like, why is Newman even kowtowing to Homelander? Like, couldn't she explode his head?
In theory.
Right? Could she not? And there's like so many soups. They somehow between season 3 and season 4, I feel like they have equated with any superly abled person is now immune to bullet fire. And it was like
strong.
That's not how it's supposed to be. Like, everybody has their own unique defenses and offense abilities. And like, it was like the X-Men early on. And now it's like everyone is super strong and immune to bullets. Like since when
And
is
then they have like one extra thing that makes them unique.
and then they have like the thing. Exactly. But everything else is standard. Like even the shifter is like punching through walls and stuff. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine. I'm over it. It's just something I thought of there. But that's their plan. They're going to kill Victoria. But my point in saying that was like Victoria, if she was setting a trap, Frenchie's not going to be able to do anything. Like she's going to explode all of their heads as soon as she walks in the room. But whatever.
They've really neutered Victoria's power set over the last couple seasons. Because I mean, she like
Neutered.
popped head.
That's a good word.
She's cut the balls off of it. She somewhere Varys was like,
I feel like I should tell someone that I'm a eunuch. I haven't mentioned it in 10 minutes.
It's been a while. This is also where Annie tells Huey that he's going to get every STD test known to man. She's not going to get
Shifter syphilis.
shifter syphilis. That's
That was
right.
funny.
Fuck yeah, Huey.
He does like a little fist bump.
Yes. And then Kimiko tells Frenchie, what if forgiveness is the best thing that we can do for ourselves? Oh, it hit. It hit. And then she says that she lied to him about him being meant to be with Colin. And he's like, what do you mean? I just thought I wanted you to be with someone better than me. And he's like, oh, mon coeur.
There's no one better than you.
And she kisses him, gets up on her little tippy toes, and she gets all nervous, like, oh, did I go too far? And then he kisses her passionately in return. Now, I will say, I'm saying with my eyes closed. I don't want to look at Madison because this worked for me, even though I think we all agreed that it was really cool that their relationship was platonic. And I was thinking, oh, Madison's going to be pissed. What was your reaction?
I was a little like, come on. We know my opinions about it. Like, it kind of felt like, this might be a stretch here, but it did kind of feel a little Raylo gimmicky, in my opinion. Not as severe, but I was a little like, you just had to have a man and a woman who have really good chemistry date each other.
I mean, where you put it sounds like it makes sense, you know?
Well, I just, no.
You just had to have two extremely attractive people
Listen,
Get
who care a
along
lot
really
about each
well.
other. Just make love. I get what you're saying. I
guess
agree.
it's for me, it's a writer cop out. Like
Yeah.
in my head, I'm like, I feel like you now, I mean, I'm sure it gives them some new layer to their relationship, but I also think it's just kind of like, they just, I don't know. I feel like you can still build upon a friendship with a man and a woman character versus them resulting to being together. And I kind of thought that they were going to stray away with it, especially expanding on Frenchie's sexuality, which is where Colin came into play. And we never revisited that, which I think is a little, that storyline just kind of ending was a little bizarre.
For sure.
So
The Twink is very mad at me.
I only killed all of his family.
So, I mean, I'm kind of indifferent to it. I'm just like, okay, this is happening. Like, I'm happy for the characters. They seem, happy. But just from a writer's perspective and the history of what I've seen in movies and shows, like, I just feel like it's kind of a cop-out for two characters.
I agree. I actually agree.
So, I
We
don't
went
know.
through that whole thing where they kissed in season 3 and they were like, oh, that was weird.
Right. So, but I feel like a lot of this season, we kind of reverted back to things that have already happened. So, I mean, I guess it's quote unquote no surprise, but at the same time, I'm like, again, I feel like they could have expanded on their friendship a little bit more versus just resulting to them being together as a couple.
Absolutely.
Because you can't couple them all. I mean, I know you got Annie and Huey, and then, now you have.
We need Butcher
Kimiko.
and MM to fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm there for that.
That's all. I mean, that's the only thing they can do now.
Yeah. So,
Here,
Butcher-
motherfucker.
Surprise.
You say
Oi.
the nicest things.
Oi.
but they can only last for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, they keep
'cause-
passing out.
Yes.
Got a heart attack.
They're both big
So-
Lost fans.
My official stance is I love love. So
We know you love love.
Yeah.
yeah, I love
In
love.
any form, but it could have been platonic love, is all she's saying.
Honestly, I'm
Now the
here
truth
for
comes
it.
out. Honestly,
I'm here for it. I'm here for them being together. Mostly because this episode reminded me of something, and that is the two of them are so fun together. And this whole season, they've been not talking to each
Yes.
other apart. And so when they were like that, the little wave she did
Yeah.
just earlier in the episode, I'm just like, they robbed us of this for like 7 episodes. I'm kind of upset.
Yeah.
And when they kiss, I'm like, okay, fine. If it means they're happy together, I'm okay.
Okay.
Let it happen.
Yeah, at least we know they won't be separated shortly, and we'll get a lot of fun for season 5.
Right.
We cut to Butcher and Ryan. They're still playing Connect 4 with the CIA, which is a weird
fucking
sentence.
game of Connect 4 ever.
Well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe like the way time works,
Maybe.
Or maybe that's like their 8th game. Or
Sure.
maybe they're both super stupid. And they're like,
Fair.
oh, where should I put this one?
What happens after you put 3 in a row?
I'm going to go here.
And Mallory's like, dude, put it there.
Do you guys know how to play?
No.
Shh. Oi.
Go fish.
She tries to whisper an update on like matters of state to Butcher, and Ryan, because this is a funny scene, because he's a superhero. He's like, I can hear you. He's not British, but it's funnier to me. But what's funny is like, even if he was human, he could hear her because he's right there.
Right.
How quiet did she whisper?
This is such a random thing, but I found out that the actor who plays Ryan is a twin.
He is.
So do we think that they're still changing, like back and forth? Is it like a Zach and Cody thing? Where they're still like using different
because
actors?
of Zach and Cody, like the Sprouses is what you're talking about.
Correct.
It's very common for child actors to be twins because they're not allowed to work for very long.
Right. But
So-
I think Cameron, he's 16 now, so I don't know.
Could now. So you think they just fire? We got to pick one. One of you little cunts is out of work. How would they know though? He could just show up and be like, I'm gonna let bro go in today.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
God,
But
that would be awesome.
If you had a twin that you could make him go to work for you.
Hey man, I don't want to go in today. Will you go for me?
That would actually be really cool.
Severance.
Like, yeah, kind of.
That's literally Severance.
Well, I was thinking more like Prestige.
Yeah. No, that would be a fun, like, Paul Rudd style, like Judd Apatow comedy of a guy who's a twin and they just have one job and they're roommates. And then he accidentally meets a girl that he likes at work. And write this down.
Got it. I think Netflix will take it.
And they both
yeah.
fall in love with her. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
I like it.
But neither one tells the other one?
Yeah. And
Okay.
then they both start competing and then but she's mad at both of them because they both lied later on. I mean, that's obviously the darker night of the soul of the third
Then you
act.
find out that she has a twin?
The movie's called Twinning.
Yes.
Let's write a movie together, guys.
It sounded awful when you said it, but I thought I was onto something, you know? We'll
What?
call it
Wait,
twins.
what? Madison hopped in with fire there, my guy. I don't know what you're talking about. We can
didn't get
sell this.
hokey?
We can sell it.
Then you find out she has a twin and it's
She has
okay.
a twin.
And we end it with Smash Mouth and credits.
Somebody once told me.
I feel like you have to at that point.
And I'm a believer.
Something like that. Hey, now,
R.I.P.
you're a twin. So, oh, yeah. Forgot about that. But anyway, Ryan can hear her, not because he's a superhero, but because he's human.
A twin.
Because he's a twin.
Twin powers. Wonder Twin powers.
And Grace takes this moment to be like, and it's funny to me, I never like consciously realized they didn't tell Ryan the full story, which of course they didn't because he's a kid, but like, I don't know. It just never occurred to me like, oh yeah, you don't know he's a mass murderer and stuff. Like you're getting the idea after spending time with him, but Grace is like, no, fuck it. You need to know the truth. Like he killed everybody on this flight. We have video of it. And
He loves titty milk.
yeah, that's a whole different thing. And Becca didn't cheat on Butcher with Homelander. Homelander raped her. And I love that they have Butcher like trying to stop Grace, like trying to spare Ryan from this truth. And then that's when they say, look, you're the only one that can stop him. And that's when he's like, what do you mean stop? Like, kill my dad? That's why I'm here. And Grace does this whole bit where she's like, you can't leave. Like, this is built to hold people like you. It's a plan B. I don't want to do it. I love you.
And then Ryan's like, you're just locking me in a cage unless I agree to be your weapon, just like they did with Dad. So he's seeing that parallels that Homelander's been.
I learned it from
feeding
you,
him.
Dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Ryan kills Grace accidentally in his urgency. Like
I don't know if it was accidental.
I don't think he meant to push her that hard. Because like,
feel like he
remember when
would've
he
shown
threw
a
that dude into the wall and splatted him
but
like
I
a
still
bug?
think he would have shown a little bit more
Restraint? But he was really upset.
No remorse. I don't think he was.
Well, I think it's like when you're a teenager and you're like
emotionless
or very too emotional, right? And you freak out and then you're like, you got to double down in that moment. Like you slam the door and the pictures fall off and they break. And then you're like, yeah, good. Feel it.
Yes. Embrace your puberty.
I don't know. That's how I took it, but that's fair.
Let your hair grow in weird places.
Take another shower. The water bill can't be that high.
Oh, you got a surprise boner for no reason. What's that about?
Tuck it.
Tuck it. It's like, do it.
Do it.
Tuck it.
You know what we're saying? You remember that?
Madison, you've been through puberty, right?
Yeah,
all been
I've
there.
had to tuck several times.
We've all been there. Yeah. So this scene really worked for me because it was like, oh, how do we get Homelander back in bed with Kessler in a believable way, right? Because he's all in on honoring Becca and doing right by Ryan. And Ryan has gone all the way back to being on Butcher's side. How are we going to get there? And it worked for me. Oh, the death of Grace is what's going to make Butcher snap and losing all faith in Ryan, right? It all worked for me. Did it work for you guys?
I think so. Mainly because it was just like, oh, I did not see that coming. And I feel like most of this season has been, I don't want to say predictable, but just so dull in its own way that I'm like, okay, this is juicy. Like Grace.
Tea.
Yeah. The tea. Grace dying, they're like, I guess I didn't really know that Grace was in on the plan with Kessler or like whatever to, use Ryan as the weapon against Homelander. So like that was a fun surprise. So I mean, I liked how that came to fruition and how Ryan has this realization like, oh, like this is how you're wanting to use me. And it just kind of intensifies his and Butcher's relationship even more. And you're kind of stuck trying to figure out, oh, does Ryan now feel more connected to Homelander or does he, want to remain kind of solo or like by himself?
Solo.
Who are your people?
So, but I mean, overall, I think it did work for me. I think by the death of Grace, it almost kind of kills Ryan's innocence a little bit. That might be a little gimmicky of a trope, but
this moment is what they thought they were doing with Ambrosius. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
It's also ironic that, this is the one moment that Butcher probably should have given Ryan some more grace.
Or one of those cookies. Steve, did it work for you?
Honestly, I don't think it worked on me 100%. I think.
All right, well, moving on.
No, I think it's fine. I do think if they made like a minor tweak to how Butcher behaves in the upcoming scene, it would have worked better for me because he's like all in psychopath. I don't know
how we're supposed to read that he's not even like cognizant at all. Is he completely blacked out and that is Kessler now? Because he's so over the top. I feel like that must be the case.
He's very over the top. So I feel like they need to explain that. Like even if he added like a little bit of a sorry before he went fucking batshit on everybody.
Yeah. Well, remember when he killed Ezekiel, he had no memory of that. So I just feel like he's not piloting that body at all.
Yeah. And I hope that's the case. But the only reason why I think that maybe it's not that is, we'll get into it. But I'll say it now. When he's driving away in the last shot, he sees Kessler in the passenger seat. So to me, it seems like they're working together, not so much being piloted.
You're right.
But I think if they did that where he's not fully in control and this other side of him is taking control of him, that would make sense.
Yeah.
And I would like that more than just like, I guess I fucking am the bad guy of the show now. Like,
yeah. You live long, you either die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Who said that?
I wrote it. Write it down. It's amazing.
Okay.
I don't know how much longer I could have lasted to see Butcher kind of have this internal struggle, like listening to Becca and listening to Kessler. So I'm kind of glad that we've shifted to one versus him still in this like middle ground.
Oh, I feel like we can almost guarantee that we're going to get more of that in
You
season
think?
5. Yeah, I think Becca, Mind Becca will show up again.
I don't know. I
sure.
interpreted the chest tentacles is kind of like the full committed to JVN. Chesticles. To the full Kessler side.
Yeah, no,
come to the dark side. We have chesticles.
I agree. He's definitely embraced the
Here I come.
chesticle. But I think I guarantee at some point in the next season, there'll be a come to Jesus, come back to the light. There's still good in you. I've sensed it.
Don't go toward the light.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But do it.
We'll see.
But seriously. do it,
Opposite
though.
of Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he looks at the dead body of Grace Mallory, his longtime friend and ally, and Kessler arrives. And he looks at him and they make a pact. Frenchie loads the virus dart into a rifle. There's this tiny moment where they spend on Starlight getting a text from Kamiko and it's the French flag and the love emoji. And she's like, wait, what? And girl. And I fucking burst with joy.
That was cute.
Shh, quiet.
That was super cute.
I loved it so much. But in that moment, Vicky shows up with Zoe. And then there's this other funny moment where Kamiko and Zoe are like Pippin and Ellie when they're not getting along. Love that.
I'm going to kill you.
And right at that moment, Butcher arrives to stop this happy moment. And it's so sad.
Deals.
No deals. Oi. And he fucking kills Newman, rips her in half. I was shocked.
The chesticles
Crazy.
fly out. They wrap around her eyes so she can't pop people's faces.
Huey.
Does he kill Zoe too? I know he knocks
No.
her away.
No, she ends up at the orphanage.
Oh, that's right. I had that in my note. Did he kill her? But I did not go back and update.
You solved it later and forgot. Yeah, Huey let them kill his real life girlfriend. That's crazy to me.
Her contract ended.
I guess so. And he takes the virus from Frenchie, who could kill him because he does have compound V inside his body, but he's unable to do that to his old friend. And then his last words to all of them are, by the way, you're all fucking welcome. It was like his Moana moment.
You're welcome.
I see what's happening here.
Shiny.
You're faced with greatness and it's strange. You're welcome. That's what I was getting at, Steve.
Oh,
the
that
Shiny song.
I just like the Shiny song. Sing the Shiny song. The Shiny song. King it.
So Tamatoa wasn't always as dry. Anyway, I won't do it. My Lin-Manuel Miranda rights have been revoked.
Not your Lin-Manuel Miranda rights.
That was right off the top.
That was good.
That was good.
Guys. Thanks, guys. We cut to Homelander. He's all sad in his broken apartment with no Ryan, watching the news. He gets the word that VP Newman is dead, and he's like, of course. We've all been where Homelander is at this moment. Not exactly, of course, but of course. That last
One
bit of
more
bad
thing.
news, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
The ear.
You just have to laugh.
Sage shows up in that moment with a balloon.
Hey, we won.
Here.
I love her giving the balloon to him.
Everything about this episode is so cute. And I just got to say again, before I see what you guys, this is the theme of this episode, before I see what you guys think, I'll just put myself out there. Throughout this season, I've always felt like she's the smartest person on the planet, right? And that's always a tough spot to be in as a writer. And smarter people than me have said this, and I'll just echo them. And it's whenever you have a super genius, it's tough because they're only as smart as the people writing the show. Mm-hmm. So it's and a lot of people on TikTok and stuff have always felt like, oh, it's so great. She just seems like such a genius. It's so well played. And the actress is phenomenal, but I've never felt like this is the smartest person in the world, right? Until this moment, they actually had this plan that I didn't see coming. It was a complete shock to me that I don't believe that she's fully in Homelander's pocket.
Yeah.
But maybe she's being honest. I just want to see if I could do it. And that's what, I get. Anyway, I was shocked. The whole bit about this was the plan. I just couldn't tell you because you're dumb.
Yeah, because you're
You
you.
would have fucked it up.
I don't know. It worked. Did it work for you guys? This little twisty twist with.
I think so. It was right. I didn't see it coming because the plan ultimately was, she planted a camera on the shifter to get the president-elect to say some shit about
Newman.
Newman.
She knew the whole Newman thing was never going to work. That was not her actual plan. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. And so
Newman's too idealistic.
Yeah. I think it was logistically sound, but I think for me, it was just kind of oh, Oh, that's the twist versus like, I don't know if it was going to be something a little bit more bigger, but I think it still worked. It still set up a fun ending.
I still have questions though.
That's true.
Specifically, what's in her Maeve journal?
I know. I want to know.
She left it with Homelander, and then he obviously never looked at it, but then she picked it up and was like, time for phase 2. Like, is there a world where she left the journal there thinking that maybe there's a chance he would read it, or is it completely unrelated to the plan? I want to know what's in that journal.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably just like a Madison thing.
It's like all the left-handed superheroes. She has a list.
All the different ways you can spell Madison.
That's 3 Ds? No way.
Whoa. Could you imagine?
So all this goes down and she's like, I have Speaker of the House Calhoun on the phone, who after the president and the vice president is next in line for the throne.
The throne.
Due to Article 2 of the Constitution, whatever.
He'd like to pledge his allegiance to you.
To me? And he's so just stricken with happiness.
He starts to cry.
Like, I treated you like dirt.
I broke the deal. I didn't. And why are you with me? Just to see if I could do it. You know, and she's ecstatic about it. Now it's time to move on to phase 2. What does she call him? Blonde ambition?
Blind ambition, yeah.
And he answers the phone to the Speaker of the House. And we cut to Calhoun declaring martial law in America with all of the soups that are going to be in charge, led by Homelander, to the tune of one of the greatest songs in America, Heart-Shaped Box.
She eyes me like a Pisces when I am weak. That was
God,
awful.
Kurt?
That was bad. That was
Kurt's
so
back
bad.
from the dead.
No, you nailed it. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint.
Such a baller song.
It was a good needle drop.
Yeah. I am weak. Even though they've overdone like the somber Nirvana scores in the last couple of years.
Sure.
Not this time. Bring it back. Do more.
More, please. More, please.
Something in the way.
Oh, Batman?
Yeah. It worked too. I'm not going to lie.
That one definitely hit.
And during this montage, the boys are all getting their passports together. They're splitting up into their couple pairs, except, of course, MM and Butcher are alone. So it's just MM by himself because they haven't fucked yet.
Yeah. I like what they do with this because
now we have to deal with the tentacles.
Well, as it's ending, the first thing I thought was like, okay, we're back to square one. The boys are on the run from Homelander. But wait, they actually get fucking caught.
There's more. Yeah. That's what Matthew Lillard popped in and said.
I love that they actually all get caught, except for Starlight. She makes it out.
Because her powers come back randomly.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was the one thing. Like, she's like, that's convenient.
Huey!
All I had to do was this.
Jazz hands.
I just had to believe in myself.
Spirit fingers.
Me.
Yeah, and she flies like she's never flown before, too. So they couple off. Zoe ends up in the Red River Orphanage. That's sad. I guess she's going to probably be in Gen V too, I bet. That just occurred to me. They're all caught. My note is not the dick guy, because that's who gets MM of all people.
What's the dick guy's name?
I forget. He's Russian in the books. I remember that. But yeah.
Love sausage. Yeah,
of course it is.
I knew he had a funny name.
And then Kumiko speaks.
No.
She's able to scream no as because he's not even carried away. Frenchie is just, that's her superpower. I don't know if you guys caught on to that.
I kind of assumed
it's like a rogue kind of thing where if she touches you with her, she wears gloves at the school all the time because if she touches you, she can make you do whatever she wants.
But I thought she whispered something in his ear. That's kind of
she
like
does.
Okay.
That's she tells them to do stuff when she whispers it.
Gotcha.
And she can say, forget the last 3 days. And it'll wipe their mind. Or she can say, cut off your dick, and they'll do it. They have no choice.
Oh, wow. So she's like David Tennant's the Purple Man.
Yes.
And Jessica Jones.
Yes. She's a gaslighter.
Yeah.
That's her name.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make more sense? I mean, I'm not a battle master by any stretch of the term. I wouldn't say that. People do, but I wouldn't.
To touch Kumiko?
Well, yeah, wouldn't it make sense for her to do that to make Kumiko the docile one, and then Bro can just manhandle Frenchie?
It's not as cool. Because you got Soups fighting, and then she's just gonna be gentle with Frenchie. We know what will make that. If you're gonna go down that road, Steve.
Okay.
It's a dangerous road. You know why?
That Old Town Road?
Because you know what would make the most sense?
What?
To fucking kill all of them. Why are they arresting them?
That's why they don't call me a battle master.
You don't have to Star Wars the boys at the end of the season.
Interesting question.
We've got a bus. Yeah, but it's fine. It's a good cliffhanger for sure. Annie flies away. Butcher now has the virus. He's driving along with his buddy Jeffrey Dean Morgan in the back seat. And
I love that we keep cutting to Firecracker on our news station, and she's doing the whole like very ominous, we will make America strong again, proud again, we will make America super again. Mm-hmm. That's a bit on the nose, but I think this one worked because it was ominous with what they're leading towards in season 5. I thought they did that well.
Yes.
Yeah. And by the time we get season 5, we might be living season 5. And then there's like a little bit of a stinger there. Calhoun and Homelander discover the not frozen, but basically frozen body of Soldier Boy.
Isn't it exciting? Calhoun leads Homelander into the room and Homelander's like,
Soldier Boy.
Oh my God.
Damn. Madison did the whole,
Oh shit.
you.
Damn.
That's right.
You planned that.
I did find that.
Look at
It wasn't just there for no reason.
I've had Soldier Boy on this board for years.
I wish you had pressed the wrong button and it was like, my dog, my
Yeah,
dog.
it's like, and then he was like, okay.
And he's so happy to see his technical daddy.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting. Oh, we got Soldier Boy is one of the fan favorite, right? So that's going to be great.
That'll be good.
All right, guys. Somehow we have to identify our top 3 favorite moments of this episode. It's time for our diabolical moments.
Fucking
diabolical. Madison, what are you going with for number 3?
My number 3 is it was a very quick one, but I really liked Ashley shooting up V. I think it was just kind of this like off the wall, like I was not expecting that, and it like just is a true testament to like her keeping tabs on like everything going on and V in Vought and also saving her ass. And it was a moment of like she's like hit ultimate vulnerability with everything that's been going on, and so she shoots it up. She's like, okay, this is my only chance. And then I liked, this reveal of like, oh, she still is wearing a wig, like she's been through so much. She's got a little boat head, her little golem head.
Yeah.
She was weird.
What do you think her power is? What do you think is going to happen to her?
It's got to have to be like this monster, like a Hulk thing, maybe. Like you said, Blue Hulk. It's just tits.
Chesticles.
Chesticles.
I don't know. I think it's
I don't know,
gonna be
but
like a
I
Hulk
really
thing.
hope she just gets like the
Or, like, the
beautiful,
thing.
like I hope it's her hair, like kills people.
Oh, she's like Sindel from Mortal Kombat.
Like
Or
her hair
trolls.
can like wrap around people and like break their neck.
yeah,
Like anyway, but that's my number 3.
that's
Okay.
a good number 3.
Steve, what about you?
My number 3 is Huey realizing the shifter is Annie. That seemed a lot of fun. There's some tension there, and there's a kick-ass dolly zoom, and I will always geek out for those.
You're a little slutty slut for
I'm a
dolly
slut
zoom.
for dolly zooms, all right? I tried so hard to do one in my like final narrative project at NKU.
Oh,
Didn't work out. I didn't have the right equipment to do it.
that's okay.
But I love a dolly zoom, and that's my number 3.
Every homemade porn he makes, he's like, okay, when I push in, you. I'm
Get
sorry.
out of here. Anyway,
Just delete that whole joke. It didn't land. I was trying to make a push-in joke, but
I know.
I know. I know you were.
I got it.
I'm not saying you guys didn't get it. I'm just saying there's nothing to be gotten. My number 3 is the entire, it's kind of cheating, but like that last montage, specifically when Kimiko speaks, because that really hit. You guys know how much I love that character and Karen Fukuhara. But just like, I'm a huge Nirvana fan, and it was all landing. I was like, oh shit, I'm so hyped for season 5, coalescing into this just pure joy. And then the apex of that is Kumiko speaks. It's since Palpatine.
The dead speak.
I was going to say, not since Palpatine have I felt this kind of fervor for someone speaking. I loved it. It was a great moment. But I'm only putting it at number 3 just because I'm aware it's kind of cheating. Like, of course, like this is the climax. This is so many things coalescing at once. But yeah, that's my number 3. Madison, you're number 2.
My number 2 is Homelander finding the picture of Butcher, Becca, and Terror. So it's kind of like this Ryan v. Homelander moment. Again, I thought it was going to be a little bit more of an intense, like maybe a little bit of an action sequence.
Yeah, some kind of physicality to it.
But I did enjoy this tension because I feel like Homelander's been pretty like contained with his anger. And I mean, as a, I guess, quote unquote, new father, but also like he's been pretty able to like hold off on getting really angry. And this is kind of the first time that we've seen him get very angry. And I just liked how, I don't know, I liked the episode and it was just dramatic.
That
Drama.
Steve, you're number 2.
My number 2 is your number 3. The coalescing of moments at the very end. Really well done. Really hypes me up for next season. And I loved that they kind of subverted my expectation of like, oh, the boys are getting away. Oh no, they're caught. Whoa. I'm so much more interested in next season just because that's where it leaves off. Mm-hmm. And yeah, really well done. And gotta love that Nirvana needle drop. It'll always hit.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 is your number 3.
Whoa.
When Huey...
You're also pushing in?
realizes that Starlight is the shifter. Specifically when MM gets in the mix. And it just works, man. I think Laz Alonso killed that. Such a fun scene. My number 2. Madison, your number 1 favorite moment.
My number 1 is the Annie v. Annie scene, the very first one where they're talking to each other and Shifter Annie is just like railing real Annie about like,
go on.
Hell yeah.
Don't twist my words.
Push in.
But is, internalizing like her thoughts about like who she is and like how good she is and whatever, and like is really like bringing Annie down. And I don't know, I really liked how it was filmed, and I think Erin Moriarty did an amazing job playing Annie in this very vulnerable state, but also like really playing with this shifter character. And yeah, I think it was really great.
My number 1 is also a tale of two Annies. That's such a awesome scene. Erin Moriarty is having a ball, and just like I didn't know that she was able to pull that out, and because she
whip it out.
She whipped it out.
2 fingers.
Two of them. She really leveled her game up. And just that scene where like, oh, little Annie like sucking dick like a popsicle. She does that like thing with her hands, and like she's just, you can tell she's having so much fun. And again, this has been a through line for this episode. But again, I'm just like, why haven't we been getting this?
Yeah.
All season.
Yeah.
They did so much damage to Starlight's character for most of the season. And I'm just bummed that I wish we could have given up 90% of what Starlight's done this whole season and did more stuff like this. Like, let Erin Moriarty cook. All right.
Yeah.
Let her off the leash. Let her cook.
That is also my favorite moment. But I just want to shout out, there were so many tiny moments that just like were so small. It felt silly. The Kimiko wave, the text that Kimiko sends to Starlight. Like, I love that so much. The proposal, like with what they did with the sound design and the music and the personality of the shifter coming in for a second. Loved all that stuff. But yes, the Annie v. Annie, not the fight, but in the dungeon there where she's shackled to the floor. That whole bit, just letting Erin cook.
Let her cook.
Loved it. Favorite moment by far. Let's journey into the Vault maybe. Does anybody have anything, any secrets to share? Any behind the scenes footage, Easter eggs?
I do not.
Did you know that Ryan is a twin?
Oh my God.
Woo.
I came up with that on my own.
Wow. Just like the Sprouses?
Yeah.
Now it's time for our Compound VIP Award, our favorite performance of the episode. Madison, start us off. I think we got a we all everybody situation.
I think, yeah. I mean, Erin Moriarty. Erin Moriarty, I mean, hands down killed this episode. Like not only her having to play 2 very different characters, but the emotional length that she had to go to. And she did such a good job playing both of these characters. And I was mesmerized to watch her the whole episode.
Yeah, same. Erin Moriarty with a bullet.
Yes, absolutely. But shout out to Claudia Dumet, who maybe other than some flashbacks we probably won't see again. But just in general, everybody in the cast was like back on their game because they were given the material that's so fun to work with, though, right? Like, you got Frenchie, you got Karen Fukuhara was crushing it as a actualized Kimiko, and which we'd already fucking gotten to.
Right.
For whatever reason, went back.
Lazalanza. I mean, it was just
Anthony Starr as always.
Carl Urban was great.
Oh yeah.
You know, he got some really good emotional stuff with him and Ryan that really worked for me. Yeah, loved it. But yes,
So
absolutely, Erin Moriarty by a mile.
We got to see her cheeks again.
We did. We did. You
Bonus
know,
points.
Dirty
they're
Vinny
twins.
was happy about that.
I'm pinching buttsy.
Pinching the butts.
Hey, there's one.
Pinching the shifter's butts.
All 2,000 graybeards came running from the north.
All of them. Hey, we're gonna see the twins.
Come back here. Where's the phrase at? Because I see twins. Not you, Ryan. So any hoozle, that wraps up our coverage of episode 8 of The Boys. Season 4 is done. So look forward to these guys are going to catch up on Gen V. We'll probably cover season 2 because it's going to be a good while before we get to season 5, but that'll be the last season of The Boys. So we'll be there for that. Hopefully you're in on our House of the Dragon coverage, our Game of Thrones coverage over on Patreon, and whatever it is that we do next. We don't want you to leave, but we were glad you're here at all. Madison, always such a pleasure to have you join.
Pleasure being here. The boys.
The boys. Thank you all for being here. We've got to go return some videotapes. My name is Kit.
My name is Madison.
And I'm Steve.
And this was Streaming Things, streaming The Boys.
Happy streaming.